Late Night Health continues. We're going to be visited by somebody from Auto Nation as he talks about his personal experience with cancer. And we'll talk about the Komen Race for the Cure coming up in about 12, 14 minutes from now. In the meantime, I'm really excited to spend some time with Patti Wood, the founder and executive director of Grassroots Environmental Education. Technology is not slowing down, Patti. What do we do? I mean, should we be insulating our phones? Should we? What can we do? Technology is part of the 21st century.
Right. Well, this is where you start, and it's a good place to start. It starts at the beginning, which is with pregnant women, and so since we have vulnerable populations, we need to start with our vulnerable populations. And a developing child is the most vulnerable. And you know what? We already think of men and women and then pregnant women. Because pregnant women shouldn't drink, they shouldn't take drugs, they shouldn't, drink, they shouldn't smoke cigarettes. And
right.
and they shouldn't eat tuna fish sandwiches, for the mercury. So we already put pregnant women in a different category. And so adding to those things that pregnant women should be concerned about and take special precautions about should be their use of wireless radiation, especially, not putting those cell phones in their pockets, especially not using their expanding bellies to use as a shelf for their wireless laptop, those kinds of things. So we do have a project, and our listeners can actually go on to this site. It's a beautiful site. It's called thebabysafeproject.org. Actually, just Baby Safe Project, not the, but Baby Safe, S-A-F, as in Frank, E, project.org. And that site is all about wireless radiation and pregnant women. So if there are any listeners out there who are pregnant, that's a site where you can get really good information on. And you can actually even call the number there, and we can send out brochures if you happen to be a midwife or a OBGYN with a holistic or conventional practice. We are happy to provide these beautiful brochures to you for your patients.
That is really terrific.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in this? I mean, as you said, you were in the music business and you live on Long Island, and you could be golfing, not today because of the snow and the cold, but you could be doing other things. You're giving back.
Doing other things. It's
You're
so
giving
interesting.
back.
I could just be doing, just having fun, taking care of myself. But you know what? It's a different life today. And I got involved because I had my own children, and I was very interested in nutrition, and I started an organic garden at my children's school. And one of the school district employees was approaching my garden one afternoon when I was there weeding with this backpack sprayer filled with pesticides and had this little nozzle coming toward me. I said, whoa, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm going to spray the weeds. And I said, actually, you're not going to do that. This is a vegetable garden. We're teaching the children, about growing things and about eating vegetables. And we actually eat these vegetables, and we actually serve them in the cafeteria. So what's going on? Why are you spraying pesticides on school property? These are poisons. So I became an activist by accident.
And it grew from there.
It grew from there, and it's, once you understand the world of environmental health, you understand how broad it is and how critically important it is, and how once you know this stuff, you just can't not work on it.
What really gets me, we're based here in Southern California, and the area that I live in is known for its parks. Mm-hmm. And they're always growing parks and redoing parks, mm-hmm. even though we have a drought. And so when they were building 3 parks in my community, and I snuck in, and there are all kinds of signs in the park saying, pesticides being put down.
Pesticide applications do not enter, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Why? Because kids are going to be playing on this stupid grass.
Why? And I shouldn't be actually laughing. It's because it is just a knee-jerk. That's what we do. We plant things and we put pesticides on them. We never did that. Before World War II, this was a country like every other country where we grew grass in cooperation with nature. We had beautiful grass. You can go to Versailles today You can go for a tour of the most beautiful Irish and English gardens, and nobody uses pesticides. Nobody does. It is absolutely the worst thing to do. But the chemical industry grew out of World War II. It first went to the agricultural industry. It then went to the golf course industry. And then, they're constantly looking for new markets. It's all about money.
And
right. Then,
they're probably involved.
Then it was the consumer, and it said, "Do you want your front lawn to look like a golf course?" And everybody said, "Sign us up."
They're probably also involved in radiation. The best tomatoes that I've ever had were called dry farmed tomatoes. They don't even water them. They stick the seed in and they let it grow. And if it grows, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We're going to have to talk again. You'll keep in touch with me.
Yeah.
Our guest has been Patti Wood from the Grassroots Environmental Education. It's a 501(c) nonprofit. Take a look at them. Take a look at our website. By the way, new website this week at latenighthealth.com. And when you sign up for our newsletter, you're going to get a whole story that Patti's going to write all about us. I think she already did, for our newsletter. Patti, thanks a lot. We will talk. I'm Mark Alyn. Late Night Health moves forward as we talk about a little something unusual for us, the race for the cure with the Komen Group. Don't go away. More coming up here on Late Night Health. Hold on, Patti.